Hey guys, it's Rick and I'm here with my November Part 4 reviews. Going to be a shorter video, only have 4 movies to talk about, and as you could tell by the screenshot, it was a bit of a different week where we didn't watch anything on physical. It was 4 streaming titles that we watched. So we're going to dive in. Obviously it was Thanksgiving week and we weren't around for half of that week, so I ended up watching a few things on streaming. They are all new 2020 movies except for one title in particular. We'll talk about that. The first thing we watched was Run on Hulu, starring Sarah Paulson. It's basically a thriller about a girl who's confined to a wheelchair, takes several medications. She has several different ailments that keep her basically ridden to a wheelchair. Her mother is played by Sarah Paulson. This one, like I said, is on Hulu. Had heard about this movie earlier in the year, was excited to check it out in theaters. Obviously, that didn't pan out this year, as 2020 has just been the year that seemingly won't end soon enough. This is December 8th, I'm recording this. And I feel a bit hypocritical wearing this shirt, Blu-ray snob, as I watched 4 streaming titles. But hey, it is what it is. Kira Allen plays the daughter in this film. She's really good. Apparently she is confined to a wheelchair in real life as well. And there's vibes in this movie that almost rang familiar to the movie Ma, starring Octavia Spencer in a way. But this was much more enjoyable. This was a well-done suspense film. Definitely on the edge of my seat in several parts of the movie. Sarah Paulson is excellent in the movie. She seems to have found a niche as an evil person. If you watched Ratched on Netflix, some of the seasons of American Horror Story. This was directed by Anish Giganti, I believe is how you pronounce the name. And they also directed Searching, which came out in 2018. It was a movie that was basically on a computer screen and different phone screens that was really well done. It was a really good movie in 2018. But this is an excellent film, just a really good suspense movie. I give it a 3.5 out of 5. Definitely one I'd recommend you guys check out. Next up, we watched Super Intelligence on HBO Max. This is the new Melissa McCarthy movie, directed by her husband, Ben Falcone. Basically, the movie is about a woman played by Melissa McCarthy who just seems like an average, ordinary woman, and there's an AI that wants to like study her and her interactions with people and men, and it's rated PG, which surprised me. If you guys know, I have a very love-hate relationship with Melissa McCarthy. Fantastic in Bridesmaids, which is the first thing I really saw her in. I loved her in Can You Ever Forgive Me, which I think was a year or 2 ago. It was a different movie for her. It was a drama. But really got tired of her like R-rated slapstick comedy shtick. Tammy, The Boss, Life of the Party, which I think was PG-13. The Happy Time Murders, I wasn't a huge fan of her in, although there were other redeeming things in that film. She almost fell into, I feel like the same kind of typecasting that Rebel Wilson fell into. Rebel Wilson, was great in Pitch Perfect. We were watching it recently on TV, part of it, and she's still so funny in that movie. And then she kind of did the same thing over and over, tried to, she was in some R-rated stuff and it just wasn't really funny or enjoyable for me personally. But this is different. She was in a PG movie, family friendly, which was kind of weird. Especially this movie is much more of a romantic comedy than the trailers led me to believe. So wasn't really anticipating that. But I was worried that the slapstick would be running rampant as it was a PG movie instead of a PG-13 or an R-rated movie. And except for one scene in particular, there wasn't a lot of slapstick stuff, which I enjoyed. There were parts in the movie where I laughed out loud, which, compared to Life of the Party and Tammy and The Boss, I didn't find myself laughing at all in those movies. So this was much more watchable in my opinion. Still not a great movie. Definitely had its issues. Definitely meandered. I liked the first act of the film. I thought it was really funny. And then when the love story got pushed to the forefront, I think the movie kind of dropped off in quality. But I give it a 2.5 out of 5. Definitely a watchable movie. Not something I would say rush out and see right away on HBO Max. Unlike the next movie, which this video will probably come out right around Christmas, if not right after Christmas. And we checked out the Christmas Chronicles on Netflix, which I had been wanting to check out for 2 seasons now. And the second one was getting a ton of buzz that holiday weekend. I'm uncomfortable, guys. So the second one was coming out that holiday weekend. So wanted to check out the first one so we could watch the second one. RJ and Bridget and her family had already seen Christmas Chronicles. I was the lone setback there. And this movie was such a pleasant surprise. I really enjoyed it. Kurt Russell was awesome as Santa Claus in the movie. Very family friendly. I think people of all ages would enjoy the movie. I loved the relationship between the brother and sister in the movie, which was played by Judah Lewis and Darby Camp, I believe. Yep, Darby Camp. And the story pulls at the heartstrings. It's, about a family who loses the father. Their father passes away. And an adventure with Santa Claus ensues, and I really liked it. I enjoyed it. Definitely something I will watch again in the holiday seasons to come. I give it a 4 out of 5. Really enjoyed Christmas Chronicles. And then the last thing we watched in November was the Christmas Chronicles 2. So like I said, there was a ton of hype around this around Thanksgiving weekend, and wanted to dive into the first one so we could check out the second one. So we had come back, and RJ, Bridget, and I watched the second one. And most of the original cast is back. There's a few additions. Tyrese, who's dating the main character's mom. And Tyrese has a son. And also Julian... totally blank. Julian Dennison, who was in Deadpool 2 and Hunt for the Wilder People, kind of plays the antagonist in the movie. And Jazier Bruno plays Tyrese's son in the film. He was in The Witches, the remake that came out this year. Goldie Hawn was also prevalent in the film as Mrs. Claus. This movie, however, felt like it was borrowing from a lot of other Christmas movies. I definitely felt elements of Elf in the movie. I felt elements of the Santa Claus trilogy, all 3 of them in the movie, and definitely geared more towards kids, not as family friendly. I mean, it's family friendly, but I think the original movie, people of all ages would enjoy. I think this movie kind of directs itself towards the younger audience to enjoy. I think there's a lot of stuff with the elves and the reindeer that's very kid attentive or drawn to kids. Kurt Russell's fantastic in this film as well. Didn't quite hit the way the first one did for me personally. Still a watchable movie. I give it a 3 out of 5. Definitely if you have young kids, I definitely think they'll enjoy both movies. I personally like the first one quite a bit more than the sequel. And that is it for the month of November, guys. That is everything I've watched in 4 parts, as usual. 22 movies watched in total in the month of November. And we have a bit of big news here. We're 11 months into the year, and this is the first month I can definitively tell you that there is no hot trash of the month. I could not pick out a movie. I could easily have said Showgirls was hot trash of the month, something like that. But it just wasn't, there wasn't anything that I rated below 2 stars. So I wouldn't feel good about calling something hot trash of the month. So yay, 11 months to finally not watch an awful movie and talk about it in my part 4 again. But we do have a surprise of the month. And the surprise of the month is Antebellum, which I talked about previous review video or 2 review videos ago. I forget exactly when, but this movie, such a pleasant surprise. Lots of hate for this film, and I really, really enjoyed this one. A great suspense movie, definitely a movie that has rewatchability. Watch the movie once, watch the bonus feature, A Hint of Horror, The Clues of Annabellum, and then I think you'll be intrigued to rewatch the movie a second time, a third time. I definitely look forward to rewatching this for sure in the future. So that is it, guys. That is everything. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it. Also subscribe if you do not do so already. Hit the bell notification so you guys know when new videos drop on the channel. Also be sure to check out the description box down below where you can find links to my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Blu-ray.com profile, my eBay page, Amazon wishlist, Letterboxd where I rate and review all the movies I watch, P.O. Box, email address, don't know if I said all that. All can be found down below, and that is it, guys. So as always, until next time, who's down to movie?